So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the eclipse yesterday. Yesterday was amazing for so many reasons. But didn't everybody kind of like, I mean, I know that's kind of like the thing that you're like reading and hearing, oh, everything's going to feel different or things are going to change and oh my God, things are going to come out of it like a portal. I was throwing things into it like it was a portal because I believed, right? Portals will open. I wasn't kidding when I said that portals will open if you want them to, when they did. So yesterday was amazing. Changes are happening though. The changes that were happening before the eclipse and the changes that are kind of being sort of promised. Keep yourself honest by keeping your promises to yourself. So this year, a lot of changes in the last year. A lot of changes. And there has always changing. I think that was a really great representation yesterday. That was just total chaos, right? Yesterday, someone came in here trying to downplay the eclipse, like, oh, it's just like the moon moving in front of the sun. Like, it's just, I was like, no, it's not just. He's like really concerned with like people not minding this bridge that fell. Rather, they're spending a lot of time looking up in amazement. He had to assure him that there are plenty of people aware of what is happening with that bridge and hopefully things being addressed when it comes to that bridge falling. Yesterday, like the change in the weather, like the change of the air by itself alone was just spectacular. Like it was obviously going to get cooler, but the cooling sensation on my skin felt different. The purple sky, the purple, just everything got really purple up here. That was beautiful. The change in the weather really affected me. And I'll tell you what, I was telling all the customers coming in here, like, I will take a solar eclipsed sun warmth any day, because there was like this like perfect balance between both warm and cool that was like really charging of my epidermis my skin my body. I don't know which one of those words is right. One of them is something else that I'm thinking about. Always changing as a writer, as an artist, as a human being, living on this planet. The other day I couldn't shake the thought of me as just like this small amoeba just like crawling across the surface of the planet, eating chicken wings and doing yoga. Just thinking about how small things are, and that's great. That's also just like another huge state of mind to be in when something is happening like that, and all the time. Yeah, just realizing how small the event of humans on the planet are. Like bills, right? Just bills. Just something I was watching the other day is like we're literally just on a floating rock in space paying bills. And I tell you what, the shift in my mindset and what I need to do for work and how I need to provide for myself in order to do the things that I want to do, love to do, and feel like there's purpose in these things in life to make me feel like I am doing the most for myself and the people that surround me. Yes, everything is small, and none of these things matter. Bills. We are so small. We have such a short time, have lived such a short time on this planet. Not only was the solar eclipse like I was about to say gentle reminder, astronomical, reminder of what I'm feeling is a place that I'm headed to in my life. It was great. I'm headed toward lots of things. There's a lot of change headed my way. I think the older I get, the more I focus on joy and beauty. and it and like the aggravation of like just being frustrated all the time on what I am incapable of doing by myself as an individual, rather than believing in the collective movements that is required to make the changes happen on the scales in which I'm imagining this world, envisioning the greatness of this planet, what it could be, you know? Yeah, the older I get, I mean, I want to be published, but, I haven't really focused on being published in the last 10 years. I've just been focused on writing, observing, understanding. Writing, observing, and understanding, and applying that understanding to my humanity and the ways that I move through the world, so that even though I am so small, this little amoeba doing yoga and eating chicken wings, I still hold power, and I still hold a massive effect on those around me. And even if it is just a few people, that is still movement in the beautiful direction of coexistence. So this year I've been thinking a lot, making a lot of plans. I've been here almost a year in Kentucky, which is longer than I was expecting, but that's okay. I think I needed to be here for some things happening in Kentucky, and I needed to be here to see some clear developments that I have made in the last year being in Seattle. Or not in the last year, but in the last years being in Seattle and Vancouver, Canada. Sitting here at this liquor store counter and writing all these things out that I feel that I'm being drawn to, and things that I want to do in this world that make me feel as human as ever, just by feeling like I've always been a helper. I loved doing maintenance because I liked helping, and I loved fixing things. Like, I'm realizing that not only am I a writer and messenger and envoy of humanity and beauty, but I do love helping people out. I love being able to give my hands, specifically physical, like, help. If I know how to do something, I feel like I'm drawn to offer my knowledge to the group of other people who are also helpers. So, like, I'm about to say about a lot of stuff about what I do want to, like, this is like a 10-year track of like what I want to do, where I want to start this year, right? Like, so like I was saying, I want to publish a lot of stuff. Never focused on publishing. I also have been following, like, always in my work, I've always been an advocate for the oppressed, those who are not receiving the same equality or ethics in our country and world. Always writing about sex workers or those who are unable to meet the demands of the failing economy of our United States. I've always spoke to impoverished folks, people who are having a hard time, our veterans who are just on the street and just like starving and not getting the health care that they need. Healthcare, lots of things. I carry a lot of the suicides that like my friends have, that I've lost a lot of friends to. Depression and like this resources that aren't quite there somehow yet. There's so much money to be put into these things. I want to speak to a lot of, like, we come from Kentucky, where the prison rate is just like out of control. So I mean, there's a lot of abolition work that I want to do. A lot of abolition work was already showing up inside my writing. Just people's freedoms being trampled. It's funny reading back on old work and being able to see all these themes showing up in just my observation, whereas now there's a lot more speaking these truths that are in poetry to power. These are things that I want to work on in the next 10 years. As you all know, I'm going to NOLA. The expansion of like what my art form has expanded just because I've always played with music, but this trumpet, I've always wanted a trumpet. I've wanted a trumpet since middle school, since 6th grade, but I got stuck with the flute instead, which I might go back on once I really take on and kind of feel like I've gotten somewhere in some sort of mastery of the trumpet when it comes to combining my writing and the trumpet together to do what I really wanted to do. So my art, my writing has shifted. Everything is shifting. I went to school in Seattle to be a web designer, not panning out exactly how I thought it would. But all this time that I've had to think about where I belong, where my mind has the most power to change things in the ways that I can personally change things by simply speaking up about something that might be limiting somebody's access to information, a plethora of information, endless information on the internet. There's also just web ethics. There's a lot of racism happening on the internet. There's a lot of marginalization and a lot of people being left out just simply because their experiences aren't being considered, or or there's just no access whatsoever. The internet, proper internet, and in cities, in states, is almost sometimes pretty much inaccessible. AI is pissing me the fuck off, right? With all the facial recognition. I try not to do facial recognition stuff because it is a very racist system of misidentifying and criminalizing black and brown people by just the way that they look. It's fucked up. These are not just little fun games that you're allowing Facebook to scan your face for. Be careful. I think about death a lot. So there's some programs I've been looking into becoming a death doula, laying people to rest. I was even entertaining driving a hearse in Kentucky because I wanted to be closer to death. It's not even necessarily learning more about death from death. It's being close to death and accepting it as a very natural and a very matter of fact is a very matter of fact thing that is going to happen to us, whether we're going to be born or we're going to be put to rest. I'm a very sexual person. There's a tantric courses that instruct you in being able to lead people to healthier relationships with their partners, whether that be spiritual or totally in body. I want to move toward that. I'm just understanding of everything in self, and there are these things that are being developed. Hello. Oh yeah. Checking out the sun without no glasses. See you around. Sexy stuff. I've always been a curious boy. I used to just go through anatomy books after being shown a video that my mom and dad used to educate me sexually. I've never lost interest. It's all perplexing and interesting and mind-blowing, and the human body is capable of a lot of beautiful things, and I want to share that with people, and I want to share how other people can get there too. It's an endless journey, but this is the sort of this, taking on this sort of tantric sort of doula kind of interest and work. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Lots of things are changing, and if you were watching the solar eclipse yesterday and you wanted portals to open, they did. as they did from me. You know, I felt very different after. I felt encouraged. I felt encouraged to keep on moving forward with these plans and these massive ideas for myself, to better myself, to be better for others, which in turn will be feeding what I was talking about yesterday, my knowledge. Feeding my knowledge to feed the wisdom that I am, that we are, at a constant collecting to make ourselves beautiful, to enlighten one another. One thing I threw in there was smoking. I'm not a heavy smoker, but I haven't had like a terrible time trying to quit. I just have to like not do it. I have to say no, Samuel. No to the animal inside that just likes to breathe smoke and feel the little buzz that happens. But it's terrible. It's terrible. And I say only, but it's still a problem because I do feel the effects of cigarette smoking. I'll have like, actually, honestly, I'll have like three to five if I'm out and about and I'm with someone who also smokes, for sure. I never feel shy about asking because I want it, and I know where to get the loosies in the city, like where I can just buy a single cigarette from a store if I want just a single cigarette. It's still a problem. So if there's anything that I threw into that portal yesterday, it's cigarette smoking. Throw them cigarettes in the fucking sun. Anyways, I've been going on for about 21 minutes now. Gassing. Lots of changes, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things to be excited about. And I hope that you're excited too. And I hope that you were looking up yesterday and just absolute awe that we are so small. And that these things truly, I mean, everything matters, but at the same, nothing matters. And when I say nothing matters, it's like these very human lines that they draw you inside of just to keep you busy and working to some end goal for them and not for you, really making it difficult for us to have these moments of awakening, to see ourselves grow and change so that we continue to feel capable and able to bring these affirmations and these promises and these goals to fruition, right? So, don't let the bastards grind you down, right? Don't let them keep you down. This day is yours. It's all of yours. Okay, that's enough. I love y'all. Thanks for listening. Bless your challenges coming. Bless your changes. And I hope you receive them with great learning, understanding, openness to let it guide you where it guides you. I tell you what, if you do that, you'll find that it's going to guide you further and further away from this human, creation of what living is. Cars and jobs and gas and material things. Just do that. Follow your development. Just let go. It'll be okay. All right. Peace.